The snow came earlier than expected. A swirling white curtain dropped from the sky like a sudden memory of something best left forgotten. The wind howled like a distant scream, and the cold carried the sharp, metallic scent of a storm that didn't feel quite natural. By the time the two-lane highway was barely visible, 5 travelers had already missed the last exit. Derek and Lisa, a couple from New Jersey on a road trip to patch things up. Marcus, a quiet man with a duffel bag and a bad knee. And the Thompsons, Janet and her teenage daughter, Lily, who were on their way to visit family for the holidays. Each car, each driver, thought they had enough time. But the snow kept falling. Heavy. Relentless. Lisa squinted through the windshield. "Babe, I can't see anything. We need to stop." Derek tapped the brakes and leaned forward. "There's a sign, barely visible through the snow. Black Pine Motel, 0.3 miles ahead." They weren't the only ones to see it. The motel sat just off the highway, shrouded in pine trees that leaned too far over the parking lot, like eavesdropping shadows. Its neon sign flickered half-dead in the storm. "Vacants why?" Derek pulled into the lot just as Marcus did. The Thompsons arrived minutes later. No one spoke. They simply looked at each other through windshields, acknowledging that no one wanted to be there. The lobby was unlocked. There was no one behind the desk. A bell sat on the counter. Lisa rang it. Nothing. Then a key rack behind the counter rattled, as if a breeze had brushed past it. One key fell to the floor. Room 6. "I guess we help ourselves," Derek said, trying to sound casual. He grabbed room 6. Another key dropped. Room 3. "Maybe this place is automated?" Marcus muttered and took it. Room 9 dropped next. Janet hesitated, then took it and motioned to Lily. No one else showed up. The rooms were clean. Too clean. The beds looked unused, and the sheets were stiff with cold. Everything smelled like bleach and something faintly sweet, like rotting flowers. Lisa looked around their room. "This place gives me the creeps. Where's the manager?" Derek tried the TV. Static. No signal. No Wi-Fi. No cell service. Outside, the snow piled higher. Marcus was the first to try leaving. The next morning, he loaded up his car, waved politely, and backed out of the lot. He turned onto the highway and ended up right back in front of the motel. He blinked, turned again. Same thing. On the third loop, something was different. The Black Pine Motel sign looked newer, its neon glowing steady and strong. A figure stood briefly behind the lobby window, tall, pale, and watching, then vanished before Marcus could focus. 3 tries. Same result. The trees never moved, but somehow the road curled back to where it started. He parked, walked back to the lobby, and said nothing. But his hands were shaking. Lisa tried to call her sister. No signal. Still, that night, someone knocked on her room door. When she opened it, no one there. Just footprints. Leading away. Lily wandered the hallway, bored. Her phone was dead. No music, no Wi-Fi. Just snow. Room 7's door was cracked open. She peeked in. No lights. A chair sat in the center of the room, facing the wall. She stepped closer. A voice behind her. "Don't sit in the chair." She turned. No one there. She ran back to her mother's room. Janet believed her. She always believed Lily. That's why they left Lily's father. They both locked their door that night. The chair in room 7 creaked in the silence. Marcus finally spoke. "This place is wrong." They gathered in the lobby. The fire in the fireplace had lit itself. He held up an old newspaper he found in his room. Dated 1993. Headline: "Snowstorm traps 5 in local motel, all missing." "Those names," he said, pointing. One of them was Lily Thompson. Janet turned pale. That's my daughter's name." Lisa opened the guest book on the counter. Dusty pages. Familiar names. Written in different handwriting. Derek. Lisa. Marcus. Janet. Lily. They had signed him before they arrived. The snow crept under the doors now. Into the hallways. Into their lungs. Rooms got colder, though the thermostat read 75. The mirror in room 3 no longer showed reflections. It showed other rooms. Lisa saw herself sleeping. Only, she wasn't asleep. She was screaming. She turned from the mirror. The image kept moving. In room 9, Lily slept fitfully. Something watched her from the corner. Not quite a person. Too long. Too thin. It whispered, "Stay. You never left." They tried to burn the motel. Derek soaked the curtains in whiskey, his hands trembling with determination and fear. Lisa struck the match with shaking fingers, her eyes wide with desperation. They locked eyes. This was their chance. The flames caught quickly, rising with a hiss and an angry roar. Then they flickered and vanished like candlelight snuffed by invisible fingers. The fire laughed, a deep, mocking sound that echoed through the walls. Lisa stumbled back, gasping. Derek stared at his hands as if they'd betrayed him. Marcus pressed against the doorframe, mouth dry, eyes full of disbelief. The motel remained untouched. Alive. Marcus took the guest book and tore out the pages. Nothing changed. Then Janet remembered something. What if we don't check out? They stared. She explained. What if we break the pattern? The old story says 5 people disappeared. Maybe we don't vanish if we don't repeat them. But they already had. The 5th key dropped on the counter. Room 7. No one had taken it. Derek opened room 7. It had no walls. Only darkness, with snow falling upward. Voices echoed. Familiar ones. His father's anger. Lisa's weeping. Lily laughing. He stepped in and vanished. Lisa screamed. The door slammed shut. Room 7 key clattered on the floor. The sign outside blinked. No vacancy. Now it's always snowing. Janet watches the storm from the lobby, clutching Lily. Marcus stares into the fireplace that burns without fuel. Lisa stands in front of room 7, whispering Derek's name. The guest book lies open again. Fresh names write themselves in invisible ink. Another car pulls into the lot. 5 people, or 4, or 6. They'll check in soon. The Black Pine Motel is always waiting, and no one ever checks out.